Okay. Everyone, we're just going to give another 5 more minutes before we get started, just so everybody could get here. Online, thank you for joining in. It'll be 5 more minutes, and we'll be starting at 6:05. If anybody hasn't signed in yet, please do, and if you need any assistance, we're here to help with the tablets as well. All right, so we're going to give it 3 more minutes. All right, we'll stand together. We just wanted to take a picture. We need some pictures.
You do. You do. Awesome.
So we're ready. All right.
Good to go.
Okay.
So we just have really online. Is this something you I have been. And Jared up to
Jack's doing this? Okay, yes, okay. Just want to make sure. Okay.
Yeah, I used this picture already. This.
Oh, the
this
nighttime one?
Saturday picture.
Oh, okay. Cool.
All right, official. Let's get started.
All right, want to get started?
Yep.
Can everybody hear me out there? Hello? Can you hear me? Louder? Loud? Woo! Ah, there you go. There you go. Well, everyone, welcome to Founders Park Master Plan Community Workshop. My name is Maria Bajati. I'm the director here at this beautiful park. I am happy to see everyone here tonight and excited to obtain input from all the community members here on future development and programs for our wonderful park. At this time, I'd like to mention just a few projects that are already in the works, and these are improvement projects. No new development, just projects to enhance what our amenities that we have right now. So we currently completed our splash pad surface renovation. That was completed this summer. It's beautiful. All the families are enjoying it. Right now, we're in the process of completing our jetty breakwater improvement project. So that's basically the path from the beginning of the entrance all the way to the lighthouse is newly paved with rocks on the side of it, so and reinforce the structure for the marina. So that's in the works as well. Our solar light fixture replacement project is happening right now. You can see all the new fixtures on our poles. The park's going to be lit up at night. It'll be very pretty. Also in our future, looking to hopefully start this project in October. Our pool resurfacing, shower and locker room renovations, and a first aid station. So that's slated to hopefully start in October of 2025, and also ADA Inclusive Playground Improvement Project. All these projects are currently budgeted, and the only one that is not fully budgeted and will come to our new council this coming budget is the pool resurfacing shower locker room project. So we're happy to have these projects and to move forward with it. So at this point in time, I'd like to turn it over to our wonderful team here, Miller and Legg, and they're going to run the rest of the program here.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Maria. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I know it's evening and taking up some of your personal time, but I think we will hopefully make this well worth it and enhance the vision for Founders Park with you all. One of the things we want to do is just kind of identify, obviously everybody signed in, we caught you at the door and such, but if you do want to speak later on, you can use that QR code there, or if you offer comments, you can scan that other QR code. We'll have those up later in the evening, and we also have them around the room. So again, if you want to do that, we'd be happy to have you participate that way also. So the first thing we want to do is really kind of outline for you the agenda, or the... What's that? Yeah. Is the agenda of what we're going to be doing tonight, and then following through. So first of all, I wanted to introduce myself. I'm Mike Kroll. I'm president of Miller Legg, and our team is made up of Lumi Fuentes is leading the project and doing most of the planning work associated with it. And Lumi is a landscape architect and a planner also. And then Jack Cardis is with us. He's our senior recreational planner. Jack served as the Parks and Rec director for Miami-Dade County for many years, and actually worked for Miami-Dade County Pros for 36 years. So again, real great knowledge from the Parks and Recreation side, so it brings a wealth of experience to this team. And he's also a resident of the Keys, so he lives down here in Key Largo. So next thing we want to do is really talk about the agenda for tonight. We're just going to talk about the planning process, the process that we're going to be going through throughout the whole time to develop this master plan for Founders Park. We're going to talk a little bit about some village information that we've prepared, and then talk a little bit about the park information that we've gathered and collected. Then we're really going to talk about the various facilities and amenities that we have at the park, and then finally talk about the existing conditions that we have at the park, both qualitative and quantitative conditions that we have here at the park. And finally, we're going to end up with some participation. We're going to have some fun. Hopefully it'll be a little bit of fun. A lot of it will be digitally, but we will have some participation. We're going to have a participation with the survey, as well as some activities that we're going to be doing, and then ultimately end up at the end of the night with some public comments. So that's what those comment cards are for, and those comment card QR code. Okay? So where we are in the process right now, there is a planning process that's outlined for Founders Park, and we began this journey back in July when we were selected by the village to carry this out for the village. What we did, the first thing was really identify with the village what were the goals and objectives for the master plan. What did they want to achieve? So we identified that with them. We assembled the various information that was available, both from documents that we had, historic documents, as well as other studies and things that had been done previously. Then we actually had stakeholder engagement with the village folks, village staff and such, and also for some of the focus groups that are here in Islamorada. We've done also site analysis of the park, identifying, like I said, all quantitative and qualitative analysis of the facilities and programs that we have here at the park. And right now we're in the visioning workshop that's shown there in blue on the top in November. The ultimate goal is that we arrive at a final master plan mid-year of next year. After we do this public workshop, we're going to have a survey that is going to be put out, and Lumi will tell you a little bit more about that later in the presentation. And then from that, we'll develop a draft master plan, and then ultimately the final master plan for the park, gathering all that information and putting it together in a cohesive and consistent plan that outlines the phases in which the various improvements are proposed for the park. Okay? And then we go from there. Click, and then Jack, I'll turn it over to you.
Well, you all know where you live and that sort of thing, but just for those of you who don't have all the information, we can tell you that the city was incorporated, or the village was incorporated in 1997. 4 islands: Plantation Key, Winley Key, Upper Matacumbe Key, and Lower Matacumbe Key, approximately from mile marker 90 to 72. There's 18 linear miles, 3,900 acres of land. Tourism-oriented community with sport fishing capital of the world. The current population is 7,300 folks, with projections as to get as high as 7,900 by 2040. You have 8 parcels of property that actually comprise your park system: Founders Park, Library Beach Park, Ann's Beach, South Winds Beach, Plantation Hammock Preserve, Plantation Tropical Preserve, Green Turtle Hammock Nature Preserve, and Key Tree Cactus Nature Preserve. Flip that to the next one. There we go. And Founders Park was established in 1999. First council decided to purchase the 40 acres of what used to be the Plantation Yacht Harbor for $9 million to create the community park. And it was named to honor the founding families of Isla Mirada from the 1800s and the first village council members. Founders Park has truly become the centerpiece of this community. Great park events: Beats on the Bay, Pops in the Park, July 4th celebration with the fireworks, Upper Keys Rotary gigantic nautical flea market, Isla Mirada Chamber of Commerce Holiday Festival and Island Fest, and Special Olympics swim meet, Florida Keys Swim Club, youth swim meets, and my wife and I got a chance to come to the Jimmy Buffett tribute band on Saturday night. It was a great show, great job, and I see that the next one's Johnny Cash coming up in December, so that should be a great show. So, next.
Right. So we're just going to be exploring a little bit of the park, and as well as, you know, you guys are participants and are frequent users of the park. Here is an aerial. We are located in mile marker 77, 78, Founders Park, along the Overseas Highway. And here's like a nice aerial for it. And let's see. All right, so here we have more of the Founders Park map, highlighting all the different areas of the park. So we have about everything you would wish for at Founders Park, right? We have a great event space with the amphitheater and the great lawn. We have multi-purpose fields and baseball fields as well, basketball courts, pickleball complex. We also have a tennis complex. We have a great marina. We have a beach area, volleyball. You know, a lot of pavilions and tiki huts around it. So there's a lot to offer here for every day at Founders Park, either where it's a passive recreational use that you want to do, or you want to have something more active. You could come here to Founders Park. All right, so I'll highlight some of that. So part of our inventory, and this is more of a brief, not only did we quantify what's out here in the amount of, you know, tennis courts that we have, or pickleball courts that we have, or how's our multi-use sport field being used, we looked at the quality of things and the conditions of it. So just highlighted here, you know, we have a bit of everything, and it's in alphabetical kind of order, all from our boat ramps to our beach, fitness and walking trails throughout the park. There we go. The jetty, the breakwater, a driving range that we have, as well as the marina trailer parking. So just kind of a refresher for everybody of all the different amenities there are throughout the park. As well as the pool areas and the playgrounds, bless you. And a lot of the picnic areas throughout here. All right. And we, as we mentioned, some of the shower and locker rooms, splash pads and tennis courts, even a tennis pro shop you have on here. But some of the stuff that you might not always see on it is here highlighted, and something that we took a look at is the maintenance area and where everything is kind of maintained for Founders Park and some of our public works areas as well. All right, so now that we inventory all that, we just want to highlight, we've been in the process of focus groups. So a lot of the members here, we've actually gotten to talk to you guys in group settings and one-on-ones. And part of this is, the next step is really the workshop that we're at here. And then in the next 2 weeks, you're going to be receiving a survey to your household. So you're going to be receiving postcards. Now, the first half of this survey is going to be randomly geographically throughout the village. And after those first 2 weeks, you'll be able to have an open link survey where everybody could participate in this survey. So that's kind of the next input apart from today's workshop. All right, so that's just a brief of kind of where we're at and everything we've done. Just, not indulging in so much information, but now we're really what we're here for really is to get your input. And this is the fun part, that we get to know each other a little bit better through. There we go. So we're going to be jumping into activity time. So one of the first activities that we're going to be asking is, we already had sign in, we got the speaker cards and the comment cards, right? So the first one is, where in the village do you live? Yep. So if everybody could scan the QR code. All right, and then I'm going to go around the room and we're going to help you and assist you with this too. All right, you take.
Okay, so again, scan the QR code, enter one of the 4 selections, and if you don't have a phone or haven't used that, we can come around with the pad and you can enter that information there. So if you just raise your hand, and if you need assistance or somebody to put that information in for you, let us know.
Is this the only workshop like this that's going to happen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Before the draft master plan is developed. After the draft master plan is developed, we'll have another workshop to outline the recommendations that we have for Founders Park.
When you say you have met with focus groups, what exactly does that mean?
We met with different groups that were formed. Yeah. Lumi met with all of them, so
So not only did we meet with the park staff, we met with the different cultural groups that participate in Founders Park, like the Isla Morada Cultural ICE. We also met with chamber members, with the swimming groups, as well as staff from the village as well. So this was just kind of selected and gathered, and opening up the pieces for the workshop, as well as with the council members. We are meeting one-on-ones with each individual member. On the new ones, correct. Yes. I mean, raise your hand if you participated in some of these meetings, because I know I see a couple. There you go. All right. Yep. Yeah. So we're right up until the survey. So if we go back into the timeline, we just started ending of July, so August.
So you don't have a draft plan together yet, but
No.
you've already got your inputs primarily as far as your main focus, and now you're tweaking the specific things you want to implement? Or
It's another input. It's a public input. It's all the way back there.
It's on the back.
It's still an opportunity to kind of change the general direction.
There, up there, let's go one more slide up. Thank you. All right. Go ahead.
Yep. So there, if you could kind of just see that timeline there, that, we're at the public workshop, that blue one up at the top, as I mentioned, in November. And then the draft master plan workshop, we anticipate in the first quarter, around March there, that other little blue workshop where the people are in the bottom. So that's when that'll happen. That'll happen in the first quarter of next year.
So this input can still have some significant changes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely, yes. Yes, sir.
The reason that is important is because unlike many other public properties, this park is owned by the taxpayers. This was not free money from a grant somewhere or a foundation. The taxpayers paid for this with their life, a percentage of their life earnings. And so they feel much more entitled to be involved in decisions, particularly about not commercializing this park, because there have been major events to do that in the past, and they were poorly received by the residents who valued this park mostly for their families, kids, to recreate.
Perfect, okay, thank you.
Not as a commercial venue.
Right, thank you. Okay. All right, so everybody put their location of where you live in, okay? And this one, do we advance that? Okay.
All right, so I'm going to go, Frank, I'm going to share our screen, and then let's take a look and see where everybody kind of lives. And we have participants online as well. Okay. So getting to know you guys. So the majority of our participants today really live in Plantation Key. Thank you.
Okay.
Is there a number of participants that you have on that? I didn't see it long enough to see if there was.
I could tell you. So we have 19.
19 respondents, yep. Okay. All right. Okay, gotcha. All right, so our next activity is going to be, now do I have control of this one?
Yep, you have.
Okay.
Go back.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Keep going back, back. Now our clicker. This is it. Okay, here we go. Okay. So next activity is what is your favorite amenity or area here at Founders Park? And then what is your least favorite area? Okay, so we're going to talk about what are the facilities that we have here? We know the facilities that we have here, but which ones do you like the most? You use the most? Do you like the most? Which one do you like the least or feel more strongly and may need some improvement and such on? Okay, so we are going to go to the next QR code. So if you can,
Walking QR code.
yep, do that. And then you'll just have a list of things that are on there. And what are your favorite areas? And what is your least favorite area or amenity at Founders Park? And then you,
Pick one of each.
Yes.
yes, just one of each. One favorite. And only why is for why you dislike it. And then for the one that you dislike or your least favorite, it asks why. So if you could put in why, the reason why you don't like it, or why it's your least favorite.
Yeah, they just native trees and not included as favorite parts of the park.
That's another.
Right, yeah, so I'm going to make sure that it gets done, so.
It's a pretty long list. Yeah, it's a long list.
So there was a couple of things that were mentioned just now. Native trees, walking paths are not on that list. There is now an other section that is now in there. So right, if those are some of your favorite parts, I would put it in the other section on that favorite.
See what's coming in.
So we have 8 responses.
8 responses so far? Okay. 10 more. Some more just came in. They're all coming in.
All right, I'll give you, we're up to 12, so I'm just going to give it a few more minutes and we'll tell you what the poll is and I'll show kind of the results back in.
Is this on Zoom?
It's on Teams, yes. It's
Teams.
public.
Teams.
Yes, on
Uh-huh.
Teams, yes. And on, we have let's see. Beach and amphitheater are winning so far with multi-use field. All right. Okay. So
Right now,
I'm going to share. All right.
all right, the votes are in so far. How many do we have of our?
We have 14 responses.
We have 14 so far.
Yes.
So we'll give everybody a couple more minutes. Boy, look at that. 14, 14, 14, 7, 7, 7. Wow.
All right. So we have our top contendants so far is amphitheater, the beach, multi-use field, and the pool areas. All right.
Okay. Seeming pretty good.
Yep. So now we are going to go into, which is our least favorite area. So let's see if we. All right. So far, our least favorite area It is batting cage at 14, driving range, and the marina trailer parking, as well as the tennis courts. Interesting.
Oh my. The pickleball people have spoken.
All right. So some of the reasons why: utilization of space, efficiency, some of our poor utilization, and then just the residents' opinion on these. Okay. Let's see. Efficient use. Oh, somebody doesn't have a least favorite. I like that. All right.
Read a couple.
Okay. So some of them is, oh, somebody doesn't play tennis here, I guess. Or somebody plays pickleball more. Some of it takes a lot of space for the amount of people that may be used compared to other areas. And don't use the facility. And then one of them is they love everything at Founders Park, but they don't use that facility. Would anybody want to share some of their input from the audience?
No, but I have a question.
Yes.
So the difference between 14% and 7% is 1.
One vote, yes.
One vote.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's because, like we all know, a lot of people participate. Oh, I understand.
Yep.
I just want to say that, and it's just, I just say that.
Yeah. So and we'll tell you, the members that are here, please, the best part that we're going to get the best input from the survey is be our advocate for it. It's going to be posted in all the outlets out there, but by word of mouth. Hey, did you fill out the survey? Fill it out. We want to know your input. Because that's going to be the best option for us and the best way for us to actually give you the right input and recommendations for Founders Park.
Yes, ma'am.
Wouldn't it be more educational to have more than a one favorite and a one least favorite? I mean, it seems like that is just a really narrow kind of a question, particularly with the park with as many multi-phase uses. I think that's creating some false something.
Sure. Well, let us get to the next activity, and you'll see there's more options on that. Yes, ma'am.
And somebody just pointed out about picking on that, but, 19 people is less than 1/2% of who lives in Isla Mirada. So I'm glad you're doing other kinds of surveys, because this is not indicative of maybe anything.
Yeah.
My comment is going to be it makes it neither valid nor reliable as far as building your data. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And we'll tell you this, it's been this workshop has been marketed out for the past month. So it hasn't only been here, it's been on the webpage and as well as email blast in other forms. So.
So I learned of it today.
I found out today.
Well, that's good input, and all of this is kind of being recorded too, because that's one of our, whether it be, we're not getting the right information, we're not knowing what events are coming up, or that could be a recommendation as well.
Yes, sir.
Even though apparently it's the residents' fault for not showing up, the elected councilor almost couldn't show up, and that wouldn't have been his fault.
Yeah,
Just found out today.
That's what I mean.
I just said that. Also.
Frank, can you just share back the,
One more quick comment. I believe you should fix the fact that your park survey did not list the cherry-native hammock trees, which this park is regionally famous for, or the extensive walking path through Main Forest over on the side, which
Yeah.
at which the village spent a lot of money just repaving. And
Right.
those two major attractions people, except if you're a soccer mom, aren't even on the list. And to consign them to a
Other.
yeah, you could probably restructure that.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay. All right. Next thing is activities. Okay. And this is kind of where we kind of drill down a little bit more on the things that you like to do. Okay. Because that really drives what type of facilities and amenities that we have. So that's why the next thing is activities. So what are the top 5 activities you'd like to participate in here at Founders Park? Okay, so we just run through a few of the things, and we have images of all those things. So it's anything from athletics, pickleball, performances that we have, yoga, walking or running. Again, that leads to pathways and things like that.
I don't think we have football.
But yeah, I mean, that's fine. But are those activities that you desire to have, is the public desires to have?
So
Okay.
the ones that we want, that we like, that's already here,
Either or.
that we desire.
It can either or. It can be here, existing, or what you. And this is what I like to do. What are the activities that you desire? Okay, because that's going to lead to, again, we don't want to just talk about things that are in the park right now. It may be activities that don't exist in the park. So if there's overwhelming, input or desire to have those activities, that's something that we need to consider as we move forward with the recommendations.
And our participant online, I'll share this comment, said, we actually have youth flag football.
How do they
Yeah.
have flag football without markers?
It's a multi-use field that's out there.
Yeah, they probably chalk it.
Yeah. Cone.
Yeah. But some other things just that we have on here. Biking, disc golf, esports is something else. Again, that's an indoor activity, but those are activities that are in recreation, parks and recreation now. So they actually have facilities where the kids play video games, and it's actually a facility that they have in parks and such. Free play areas, just open play areas. Boating, obviously, is critical. Something that we have here. Gardening, fishing, lacrosse, yoga, volleyball. So all those types of things. So again, just some images of the different types of activities that are typically found in the parks. And then performances, multi-purpose rooms, multi-use trails, the driving ranges, and multi-purpose fields, among others.
So these highlighted are some of the facilities, not necessarily that some of them we do have, some of them we don't have. So this is opportunity for you to share those desires. And what you're gonna do, and I'll explain a little bit, so you'll get to pick the top 5 activities and the top 5 facilities, okay? So some highlighted are even some indoor sport courts, more multi-purpose rooms, a butterfly garden or any community garden opportunities that we might have. We do have a dog park, more multi-use trails if that's something that is interested, that you would like to see even more of. Some of those, we have a great nature preserve right next door to us, but maybe more outdoor fitness equipment or more picnic areas. You would like to see more pickleball courts, maybe expansion of the pool areas, or what about indoor court, a recreation room inside? Where, it's Florida, right? It's hot outside, it rains, so these are some just opportunities that we could have. All right, so I'm gonna put on the QR code, and you're going to select, you're just gonna have your top 5 activities, and then you're gonna do top 5 facilities.
So it's a list, 5 activities and 5 facilities, your top 5. Again, activities are things you like to do. Facilities are places or facilities or destinations that you would like to have. Amenities in the park that you'd like to have.
see how many. All right, we have so far 19 responses, so I'm just a few more. All right, we have all the responses now. Okay. Perfect.
No, somebody else is still working back there. No, I know.
Nope,
Some
20.
people are still working.
Okay, we have now 20.
So we got more people joining, so that's good.
I wonder who didn't sign in.
Maybe the person who just learned about it?
Another person who just learned about it.
Okay, I see a new participant online. I don't think this one does it with the bubbles. This one does it like that. All right. So we up to 21 responses submitted. So I'll go share this a bit. Yeah, I think this one describes it. Okay. All right, Frank, can you let us share our screen for a second? All right. There we are. Okay. So we'll see some of our top 5 activities, and I'll tell you the highest one was swimming so far, followed by walking and running with 9% and 11%. And then the highest other percentages, and I'll read some of these, were 6, which was soccer, tennis, yoga with 5%, nature watching, performances, and pickleball with 5%. But our highest, canoeing and kayaking, so, and art shows was another top. But the highest one so far from this group of participants with our 21 responses is 11 with swimming and walking and running. All right. And we'll take a look at what were the top facilities. All right, so swimming pool is our top with 15%. And our next top was the amphitheater. Of course, the great events that are hosted here. And then followed by multi-use trails. And then we have nature preserve at 7%, community center. And then the next higher up was actually a butterfly garden or botanical kind of garden. Multi-purpose fields, 5%, and pickleball. So, but our top was swimming pool and amphitheater. Okay.
Again, that starts talking about, again, when we talked about activities, a lot of swimming, a lot of performances and art shows, so it kind of starts reinforcing the facilities and the activities starting going together. So again, that's why we ask those types of questions, those 2 questions. Okay? And then the next activity is, obviously we have some things here at Founders Park, and we want to find out what things you'd like to see improved at Founders Park. So we have different facilities, different activities and such, but what are some of the top 3 improvements that you'd like to see happen here at Founders Park? So we've kind of tried to put as many of these on here as we found through our observations and things. So the QR code will come up.
I think I'm going to leave this up for just a little bit,
Yeah.
so you guys could, we could
We'll
read it.
let's do the QR code so they can
Yep.
get it, and then we'll flip that back so they can see. Okay. Make sure. Everybody got their QR code? Okay, all right. Looks like they're still gathering it.
All right, and then let's
Okay.
leave these up for a second.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that way you can see everything up there instead of having to scroll up and down. You can kind of see everything on the screen there.
I don't take pictures, I got it.
Yep.
All right, let's see how many responses. Okay, this one I know is going to take a little bit. So I see 8 responses so far, but give you guys a few minutes.
Okay. Yes.
This may be more of a comment or for the new council coming in, but as we look at some of these walking parks, bike parks, et cetera, it would sure be nice if we could incorporate the area that's next to Founders, that everybody thinks is part of Founders Park. It's actually not. It belongs to the Village of the Islands. But if we had that as part of Founders, it would expand the opportunities for walking, botanical gardening, et cetera.
Sure.
Which I would really think would be a wise thing to do.
Okay.
I don't think that's possible because of the way it was purchased.
It was purchased as a passive park.
Yeah, but could we somehow work in an agreement to incorporate it? I know it was state funds that purchased it, but if we could make that, somehow incorporate that.
Sure.
I guess we could look at the grant fund,
The
parameters were.
Yep. Good.
Just a comment that, in many of the meetings I've attended, we've talked about a second park entrance, like one for residents where you have a key card and you can just go through, and then one for visitors who are spending a lot of time proving that they're really visiting and, it takes a long time to get into these parks. So, there are 2 entrances technically, but that's not up there, so it's just something that's come up in the past. So I haven't done it.
Yeah.
Sure.
It said
Enhanced park
Park
entrance.
entrance.
But it
So you
doesn't,
could
but,
utilize
oh,
that.
it's right there. And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
park entrance.
Yeah.
I checked that, but I don't know if people understand it means have 2 entrances.
Sure.
Well, it could be a widening for a key only, fob only kind of
But
entry
you have to
point.
cut
so-
down trees to do that.
Well, it depends on where you position the toll booth.
Go,
and-
it's pretty tight up there.
Yeah, Sandy, that came up 2 or 3 times in this planning. Back up the traffic, big problems.
Yep.
Yeah, we heard quite a bit of that from the focus groups, but I appreciate that. We just wanted to word it, broad and not drive the,
But we don't want to enhance it by cutting down those trees.
we're landscape, we're on your side. We're environmental and landscapers. So, there we go.
And, they even, and this is anecdotal, I come here a lot, I'm not meeting people, all the people who were here are great, but they even started something where they give out dog treats to dogs in cars, and that takes a long time, and you're like, they actually go find dog treats in that little office, give it to the dog, I mean, really? Should we do it?
Okay, how are we doing?
All right, so we're part to 15. I'm going to share the screen right now. right, so let's see what are our top contendants of. Okay, so I see 13. We have 15 responses so far. So enhanced beach area is one of the top with 13%. And then add artificial turf fields. That's another top one. And that would help us with the multi-use using of the fields as well, and then the upkeep and the maintenance of it. Okay, and let me see which other ones are. All right, the next one I see improve outdoor events spaces for concerts. That's a top with 6%. And another 6%, add more shaded outdoor areas. Now, this is with either shade structures or naturally with enhancements of some trees as well. And then an 8% is to add butterfly garden, botanical garden. Okay. All right.
Okay.
So yeah, that was it.
That kind of stuff, if there was a way of being able to use the other property, that fits in perfectly with the passive.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I'll stop sharing our
Okay.
screen.
Yes,
We'll
sir.
go back to it.
I would suggest, as a courtesy to you, that you do a little research about artificial turf and PFAS chemicals. That has been banned in the entire state of California and other places. It's being pursued by the school district here, but there's lots of troubles. There's a recent survey that shows that we have the highest level of PFAS for forever chemicals in our water supply of any county in the state. It's not a simple slam dunk, better than God's green grass. We've got lots of good nature, natural environment here, which is a lesson for, as well as an experience for kids. It's more complicated than that. Got tons of references, I'll give them to you.
Sure, thank you. Okay. All right, so that's our activities. And now we're going to go to speakers, all right? And everybody who wants to speak tonight, I think, have you scanned the QR code to do a speaker card or done a physical speaker card? Because I think right now we have...
Yeah, we have 7 responses so far.
7
for
speakers. Okay. All right.
We could start off.
So we're going to have them just speak out there?
Yeah.
So we're going to do the size of folks that we have here tonight. We took it from 2 minutes to 3 minutes because... Sure. Because I think we'll have enough time for everybody to say their stuff. Okay, so the first one, Sandy, here's your card. So you can just stay there. We'll bring the microphone there and make it easier.
I'll just stand here.
Sure.
Okay, but I just have to put this down because I'm going to...
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Thank you. Sandy Biseglia, Alamorada. Thank you for 3 minutes. The latest red flag area now proven to have forever chemicals, PFACs, is AstroTurf. Just asking you to think about the cumulative effects where our children are being exposed over various locations and over years of contact in yards, neighbors' yards, restaurant play areas, outdoor birthday parties, pool parties, parks, amusement areas set up for kids and daycares, because now we're entertaining possibly adding AstroTurf to Founders Park in some of the areas, which means kids will grow up with years and years and years of contact with plastic grass that may be detrimental to them. Having been an educator here in the Keys for over 40 years, I've watched and admired the evolution of the intent and care that parents put into safety for their children. We have air purifiers in homes, in kids' bedrooms, hand sanitizer present in all the schools, expectation that all cleaning materials are benign for humans in homes and cars and schools, sunscreen applied regularly to kids from top to bottom, specific fabrics selected or not purchased for children's clothing, scrutinized snacks and meals often can only be organic choices for kids and healthy snacks for homes and parties, use of Yeti and other safety containers to hold water, juices for kids in cars, strollers, homes, and schools. So, all because of the modern day living challenges of chemicals and irritants and preservatives and questionable safety for kids. It's a complex world when it comes to kids' safety. So in closing, I hope you all consider that, kids are being exposed to all kinds. First of all, they're being preserved from being exposed to a lot of chemicals by the way they're being raised, thankfully, by their parents. And should we really be adding PFACs or, artificial grass in large quantities to a park? And also, a lot of kids here are growing up on a postage-sized stamped lot. Yes, they have beautiful homes, but a lot of them never see grass. They don't have it. They have a marina, which is lovely, but it's nice for them to have a grass environment to grow up in as well. And when this park was created, it was created to be a natural keys area for families with walking paths and so forth for all Islamorada citizens to enjoy. And I hope you really look at the effects of PFACs around the country. And is that really being taken into consideration of the cumulative effects on our children? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right, Cap Med next.
Used to that. Only time to give some background here. And lots of documents that I'll get to you guys directly. For the record, I'm Captain Ed Davidson, who for 10 years was the sole federally licensed Biscayne National Park tour guide in the Florida Keys Islands of Biscayne Bay. I was also the state board chairman of the 40,000-member Florida Audubon Society, involved extensively in Everglades and Florida Bay restoration, which includes our shoreline, as an official advisor to the South Florida Water Management District. I've also been extensively involved in environmental advocacy and endangered species litigation. I got elected to the school board here because the lady who just spoke recommended it so well, I thought I'd try it. So during my 4 years on the school board, I learned a lot of things about how that bureaucracy functions. They've now tried to resurrect an old permit that they had that expired, that they failed to renew. We've been through all of that stuff with the old council. But they have a facilities director who's deeply and personally attracted to artificial turf. I know him well because he's the former commanding officer of the Key West Naval Air Station that I used to fly out when I was a young Top Gun instructor. He probably doesn't have overly fond memories of me from there either. So, but it's just inappropriate for here, and because of all the problems, because of the persistence of the chemicals. They're planning, you'll hear other stories, but this is what they intended to do in this park. Okay? Called them on it. Lots of public objected to it. They've now backed off and started over again. The permit they have, and I have all this paperwork if you'd like to see any of the originals. Sure. The original permit grants the school system only from 2:30 until dark, 5 days a week with no weekend use for only 19 weeks, January through May out of the year. Okay? So the folks who own this park should have a lot more to say about it for those reasons. In this footprint, the point of this drawing, which is from the school system, in the footprint of that building, there are 89 mature native hammock trees, and I have documents that show that at least 50 of them were planted a couple of decades ago as environmental mitigation for the trees they bulldozed down in the first place. There's no way they should be allowed to impinge those trees, and most of the council has said that publicly, that they're not going to mess with our trees.
Great.
So,
thank you. All right. All right, our next speaker is Deb Gillis.
I pass.
Oh, you pass. Okay, she passes.
So then it's
Margie Smith.
My name is Margie Smith, and over the last 20 years. Can you hear me now? Yes. Okay. All right. My name is Margie Smith. I would say our family is a heavy user of this park. Probably logged more hours in that pool as our family than anyone over the last 20 years, just because I have two competitive swimmers that are year-round. One of the reasons I'm here tonight, not directly related to this, I guess the first thing I want you to know is when other folks come to swim meets here, everyone is astounded what a gorgeous pool it is. It is everyone's favorite pool, and it is the gem of this park for sure. Second thing, though, is I became aware about a month or two ago that the maintenance being done on the pool for this coming next fall, 2025, is in the middle of the high school swim season. If it can be moved back from October start to November start, maybe the middle of November, then that puts it right past the state meet. Do I have an interest in this? I have a daughter. We have 12 years now of swimming with Florida Keys Swim Club year-round. Most of you have seen my daughter swimming in this pool. My younger daughter wants to swim in college, just like her sister is swimming now in college. Went to the Division III championships, I'm happy to say. My younger daughter here, the entire team would be displaced, and I've been already working on getting them lane space at Jacobs, but I would much prefer to be able to use Founders Park so that my now 16-year-old isn't driving 20 miles in the morning to Key Largo, back to Coral Shores, and then in the afternoon to Key Largo again, and then back to mile marker 81 where we live. So that's 20 miles each way, plus the transit in between every single day. So I would just love to see some consideration to move the maintenance back that date past November 15th. Then I'd be thrilled. Just 1 month would make a huge difference for our family. She wants to swim in college, and that's her senior year. So that's the biggest thing I'm here about. In general, I'm just want to make sure we continue to have the child care programs over the summer. That camp means a lot to a lot of low-income families. It is the best place around for a lot of folks in terms of being reasonable cost and a lot of activities. And frankly, now we don't call it Camp Melanoma anymore because we have this space, so we have a little bit, of shade. The more shade, the better for those kids. But I guess my biggest priority is please move that maintenance forward 1 month so we can finish the high school swim season. I think everyone would agree in this room that the highest and best use of this facility is for local kids doing athletics. Thank you.
How many kids would that displace?
It would be the whole Coral Shore swim team, so roughly 30 kids. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Oh. Maria. Okay.
I'd just like to address that. That's something that we can look into, definitely. I've been talking with John and on the whole season. I know the season ends pretty much October, beginning of November, somewhere in there. So we can push it back. So.
All right, okay. Was there just a question?
More questions?
Yeah, I was just going to ask if you could give the overview of what is the timing of redoing the pool and how long does it take and what are the guidelines? I mean, we're talking about days, weeks, months, what's being done?
Sad to say, it is a long process. Resurfacing of the pool is one aspect of the whole project. We have locker room improvements and also a first aid lifeguard station. So there are basically 3 different aspects of the whole project. From our designers and our team says it could be anywhere from 3 to 4 months. So it is a long process. We will be in contact with the Jacob Center prior to that, and maybe we can work something out with them about memberships, sharing pool space, and so forth. But it is something that is needed. The pool is going to be 24 years old, so it's time. And if you keep pushing it back, it's only going to get worse. And I know it's a bummer, but it's a needed improvement. Mm-hmm. But we're going to do our best to get it done and get things going.
Is it possible to go a little earlier? And maybe for the summer rather than push back?
Well, the whole project with the RFP and the engineering and all that's it's gonna take longer. There's no way we'll get it done in the summer. We could push it back to even December. There is no good time to do it. The summer is, the pool's filled with all our kids and our camps and everything, so I don't recommend doing it in the summer. We could do it in the winter.
But if you did it in December, then you stretch it out to where the kindergartners may not be able to take advantage of the Keys Kids Swim lessons that are very valuable. Yeah, so there's like I said, there is no good time. So I would think, October, November is probably the best. But again, after the high school season.
And don't we still have the college?
We do have college teams. Yep. Yes, we do.
And that's usually over Christmas time.
Mm-hmm. But I think for us, it's more important. At least my thought process is we want to take care of our residents and our kids and so forth. So the college teams, if we go one season without them coming, we'll make it up the next season. They'll come. I mean, they love the pool. So, but we will lose some revenue. But I think our residents probably feel that the programs in the summer are more important.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Robert Stover. Here we go.
Rob Stober, North Plantation Key. Nice to see a lot of friendly faces here, and for the one person who, everybody knows me. What I wanted to talk to you about quickly was just about kids. We don't have any kids here, so I'm going to speak for them. We have two really great sports that we have a lot of great sports, but there are two really big sports that no one's talked about today, or hasn't talked a lot about. One is soccer. We have about 80 kids that play soccer every day, every week, all the time. Something that a lot of people don't know is about lacrosse, which presently has over 150 kids playing every week. So, sorry, Tony, no disrespect to baseball with 9 players out there on the field. The other sports are way more kids, way more time, all year round. So when you think about the use of the park, please include lots of space for fields, because that's a huge time crunch. Maria can fill you in on some of the meetings that we've had. The other thing that I'm going to talk just briefly about is pump track. And probably nobody has been to a pump track except for maybe Jack. No? But you know what a pump track is.
Oh, yeah.
A pump track is not a skate park. It is a wheeled playground. Anybody can use it. You can use it with almost anything with wheels. I'm not going to bore you trying to explain it. I'm going to leave my card over on that table. Send me an email that just says pump track or park meeting, and I will send you a 1-minute video of what a pump track is and how great it would be for our account. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, next one, Don Horton. You're skipping? Okay. All right. All right, Margie Smith.
Nope, it was twice.
Oh, no, we're going the other way.
She put it twice.
Oh, you put it twice. Oh.
Okay, so let's do 20.
Tony Hammond?
And then we'll do this. And then Rob is online.
Oh, okay, Rob's online. Okay.
Well, for those who don't know me, I've been here since 1960, so I've been here a few years, and I was the baseball coach at Coral Shores in 1972, and then coached at Island Christian School for the next 150 years, and just went back to coach at Coral Shores this last year at the request of the athletic director and the coach. I want to address several things. First of all, there is no blueprint yet for the baseball field. There's no layout. That was purely conceptual. The drawing that you saw, there's nothing on paper for that at all. We have been promised that no trees will be moved, and I've walked it out. I videoed. My background's in biology, so I'm very concerned as well that those trees remain as they are. I took a video. I walked the distance They may have to have some trimming done so that you could, but they want to move the backstop forward is the game plan at this point, and leave the field where it is. So just that helps set the record straight on that. And I think the other thing that we have to consider is I watched this year, we use Brightview, which is contracted by Monroe County School Systems. Is that also contracted by the village? Do you know?
Brightview?
The Brightview contracted with both? So they're the ones that do the maintenance on the fields.
Okay.
They don't have a lot of baseball experience. They don't have a lot of, but they do have a lot of experience with fertilizers and weed killers, which has to be put down there fairly regularly. Right. And of course, we have notes not to get on the field when the fertilizer and the weed killer's there. So I think that is something also that you have to consider when you're talking about the hazards of synthetic turf versus natural turf. And I know that you know that already. So the other issue is that we have an agreement, an interlocal agreement between Monroe County School System. I was actually there when that agreement was signed years ago. And so that interlocal occurred, I believe, back when Mike Lannon was here. And the interlocal gave the responsibility to the ball field 5 months and for the school system and 7 months for the village. The problem is that it's very difficult to maintain the field over just the 5 month and then have the 7 months of it being used for multiple things, multiple sports, sometimes not even sports, but just letting it kind of go on its own. And so it becomes a real maintenance issue. And one of the solutions to that I think the Monroe County School System has talked to us about is the opportunity to put the artificial turf down. It makes it a multi-purpose field, multi-purpose in terms of maintenance and every other thing. It also, we have $5 million sitting on the table available to finance that will just go by the wayside if we don't address that. So I believe those are the only things that I had to bring up just to sort of give you some thoughts on the other side of the ball field. Thanks.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you much. And the last speaker is online. And it is Rob Matter? Rob Matter.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
We could hear you perfect. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. My name is Rob Mather. I'm a village resident and I also work at the village, but my comments are aside from that. I would have been there in person tonight, but I got a little cold and I don't want to get anyone else sick, so that's why I'm online. First of all, I just wanted to thank Maria and the team at Miller Lake. You guys are doing an awesome job, and thank you for allowing us to provide input on this stuff. A little background about me: 27 years old. I'm using the park almost every single day with my wife, my dog. We're either walking around it or I'm playing soccer with a group of other adults out there. I also coach a youth soccer team, so a lot of good stuff out there, and my comments kind of stem from that. The first thing I think that really needs to be looked at is kind of what we have as far as structures for lightning protection. We have a lot of kids that play games in the middle of the day. We get these heavy thunderstorms that roll through. There's not really good protocol for lightning protection. So I know there's a new ThorDart system that was implemented. That's a really good system. I've seen that used a lot in Naples and it really works. But if we could just get some system maybe with the planning process. Second, one of the biggest issues that I run into, playing with my groups with soccer out there is the lights. There's a lot of times, maybe it's holidays or weekends, the lights just aren't on. And I don't know if that's by design or if it's you have to reserve the fields. I'll discuss that with Maria, but I believe the access for the lights is at a remote location. I'm not sure if they can turn it on at the park. So just want to consider that. Maybe if that's the deal, maybe have some way for us to access it instead of having to schedule through an outside party. The third one is potentially adding more shade or indoor areas. A lot of the young adults that I see and talk to around here, we do want to do stuff outside. But in the middle of June when it's 95 degrees and it's hot out in the sun, there's really just not many opportunities. If there were shaded areas where you could do things like play pickleball or tennis, like outside of the heat, I think that would make a huge difference. And And we see it a lot with pickleball and everything. Just look at how many people come out to play after dark. And the final thing is there were concerns with the artificial turf. I think they're very valid concerns with the PFAS, and I definitely think that's something to look into. But there is benefits to it. You don't have to close the fields down for 2 months to fix the sod and other irrigation issues. There are also potentially different products that we can look into. I'm sure there's been research that's done, maybe on a product-by-product basis. But it's just something that's worth looking into before we just dismiss it altogether. Thank you guys for your time.
Thank you. Perfect. Okay. Any other speakers? Anybody else want to speak? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, I'm Carolyn Whiteman, and I'm part of the Parks and Recreation Committee that you all have met with before. I think one of the areas at our last meeting, the Marina did a presentation for us, and I think there's unclarity about the distinctions between where the Marina property and facilities actually end and how they interface with the park. It looks to anybody who comes in like all those trailers are over there and why are they there? But I think it would be helpful to have a clarity of what the Marina property is and how the Marina might make any adjustments to what are their facilities as opposed to what is actually overseen by the park itself. And I think that's something that they did a presentation for us, and options on the trailers and all of that sort of thing, because that is not actually the park responsibility. For you guys, it's part of the whole property, but it's a distinction in between, as I understand.
Correct. Yes. Thank you. Appreciate the insight. Okay. All right. If there's nothing else, again, we really appreciate you coming out and giving your input and contributing your time to the vision for Founders Park. So this is the website.
Yes. So we will be updating in the village's website. There's a section dedicated to the master plan. So any updates, this presentation, any upcoming news will be posted on there, and you guys could keep track and updates on that. Okay, thank you guys for attending. I appreciate it, and please spread the word that the survey is coming, because we definitely want 300 plus of surveys coming back as much as possible.
You're giving us 3 minutes.
Thank you. Yes.
So I was just in the pool this morning and yesterday. If you just had a sign inside the pool office where we're going to paper classes like yoga, for example, and they go to school, put a big sign up about the survey. Other than, I don't know how I had it on my calendar, it must have seen something from the chamber maybe, but aside from that, there were no physical signage to let us know. Just make it really obvious.
Right.
Big sign on the entrance to the pool. I also want to know how long they have to fill it out.
We will be having it sometime before the end of November for the open access portion of it. And we're going to, let's see how many residents come in, but we're going to leave it open for as long as we need to in order to get the statistically valid response rate back. So, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. That's good.
That'd be great.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you for that input. Have a great evening. Thank you for all the participants online, and a big shout out for Jared. Thank you for holding the fort online out.